Probably the most emotional moment that we saw in this press conference from President Trump was when he directly engaged with one of the reporters who asked a question. She was from the BBC Ukrainian Service, and she asked him about Ukraine's need for more Patriot missiles. Have a listen.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Oh,
so my question to you is whether or not the US is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you're very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He is.
He's there now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, they do want to have the anti-missile missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available, They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel, and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question, and I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay? Thank you.
Quite an emotional exchange there between Myroslava Petsa from BBC Ukrainian Service and President Trump. So, of course, we got on the phone to her as soon as she came out of that press conference and asked her to come and talk to me about that exchange.
It felt really overwhelming to me because, it's sort of a personal issue that you're not usually talking about that to politicians.
Not just politicians, the President of the United States.
Absolutely, and I was not ready to disclose my family situation with him, but because he asked, I couldn't really lie to him. And in Ukraine, the army is 1 million strong, so many men are fighting on the front lines, and the reality is that some of the journalists, female journalists, have their husbands on the front line, and that was my situation.
It really seemed to resonate with him, what you had to say. Can you tell us about not just your husband, but your situation and your child as well?
I have 2 children, actually. They were 6 when the full-scale war broke out. They were born during the war, actually, in 2015. Twin daughters, and they are right now in Warsaw with my husband's mom. The situation is okay with them. They are they are secure. Everything's fine. They are thriving, but they. Of course, there are 2 of millions of Ukrainian children who fled the country because of Russian full-scale war.
And they're not with their dad?
They are not with their dad. Sometimes they see him because now people who are serving in the army can actually go abroad and see their families that are abroad. But to me, it's also very personal because as a journalist, I have to be in my home country. I have to be in my homeland. I have to tell the story, and it's really agonizing feeling that I'm not there. I'm not in Ukraine, and you have to choose. And it's really, really hard for me to be in Warsaw. The city is nice, but I have to be in Ukraine, but I can't because no one can care for my children.
And you asked the question, if you dropped me onto the streets of Kyiv right now and I asked any Ukrainian, what do you need? They would say Patriot missiles.
They would say Patriot missiles, and this is correct because, today is the mourning day in Dnipro, in the city of Dnipro. 18 people died in Russian missile attack. And Russia has been pounding Ukraine with missile and drone attacks lately as never before. So many people died in Kyiv, in all big cities, and it's really there's a feeling that it's really getting more dangerous to live in all of Ukraine, and people are getting desperate, and we know from our sources that Ukraine desperately needs more air defense systems like Patriot, at least 10 of them, and we know that it's the US who can provide those, and the question is whether or not the US is willing to sell them. That's why I asked that question, because I know this means life or death for Ukrainians. If there are enough Patriots in Ukraine, it means that more people will survive.
Yeah, it's a matter of life and death, Myroslava said to me. And the very last thing that President Trump said to her was to give her husband, who is a soldier, the very best. She told us she hasn't had a chance to talk to her yet. He is busy fighting in Ukraine at the moment, but her question to him has already gone viral and really drawing attention to one of the big things that Ukraine needs at the moment, which is those Patriot missiles.